my children! Throughout this season, we have seen various examples of the anthology comic, particularly those who manage to keep the format alive. Well, today, we are going to look at probably the most recognizable name in horror anthology comics. Tales from the Crypt.
Oh my, yes, my children. If you recall the Tales from the Crypt TV show from the 1990s, almost all of those episodes are adaptations of classic horror comics, from Tales from the Crypt, The Vault of Horror, The Haunt of Fear, and a few other books from the time. The Crypt Keeper himself was the host of the old Tales from the Crypt comics, though obviously his look was altered a bit to make him a bit more ghoulish than how he was in the original comics, simply a decrepit old crone. Fantagraphics Books has begun reprinting the classic EC comics in hardcover form, collecting them mostly by artist and writer. During this month, they also released a special black and white sampler of Jack Davis's Tales from the Crypt comic for our perusement. 4 of these short stories are featured, the first being Bats in My Belfry. A talented actor named Harry has just learned that he is going deaf, and unfortunately there is nothing the doctors can do to save his hearing. A friend, however, recommends him to a doctor who specializes in fixing such ailments by replacing body parts with those of animals. Why, he even gave the blind friend the eyes of a cat. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, it's not like he's going to start sleeping upside down in the closet if he gets his hearing replaced with a bat's hearing, is it? Oh, wait. Next up is Lower Berth. It tells the story of 2 carnival sideshow attractions, a female Egyptian mummy and a deformed 2-headed man, both deceased of course, who are placed across from each other at the sideshow. All they can do is gaze at one another until they are separated and put in new positions. And it seems they had a bit of life remaining in them, because one night they crawl out of their little cages and go off into the night to get married. But what becomes of their child, eh? Well, let's just say the ghoul they produce has quite a prosperous career ahead of him. Mirror, Mirror on the Wall uses a very interesting storytelling technique. Every panel is shown to us from the perspective of the narrator. We see as he finds he is unable to speak, and a mad doctor speaks of what a grand creation he is. Eventually, he makes his escape, but finds that all the people are frightened of him, and he finds he cannot communicate with them. Oh, what a poor monster! I hope his wife will recognize him at least. And finally we have By the Fright of the Silvery Moon. A farm family has recently moved to America from Hungary, where they heard tales of werewolves and other creatures. When a body is found in their fields, looking like it was torn apart by an animal, they of course believe it to be a werewolf. And unfortunately, the sheriff believes it too. And when another body shows up, the sheriff is quick to throw the blame at the father. Oh, poor people. I am told my accent comes from Hungary, so I am naturally sympathetic to them. But you have to wonder, who is the werewolf that has killed these people?
Tales from the Crypt and its contemporaries are the classics of horror comics, my children. They are a strong part of comics history, not only for being some of the first horror stories told in sequential art, but because of the terrifying comics code that was put into place to censor such stories. Censorship? Now that's scary!